Imagine you are 200 feet below the surface. Above you is a ceiling of water so thick it has literally swallowed the sun. Below you, a void. You can't see the bottom. You can't see the horizon. You only see as far as your flashlight dares to reach, which isn't very far at all. Most horror games rely on ghosts, zombies, or mass killers, but today we're looking at a game that uses something much more primal, something that covers 70% of the planet but remains 95% unexplored. This is Thalassophobia, a game that doesn't just ask you to dive, it asks you to survive the physical weight of your own fear. I played this alone, in the dark, and it didn't just put me on the edge of my seat, it made me want to get out of the room entirely. Before we get into the jank and the gameplay, we have to talk about the name, Thalassophobia. It comes from the Greek thalassia, meaning the sea, and phobos, meaning fear. But it's more than just a fear of water. It's the fear of what's in the water. It's the fear of the vastness, the fear of the empty space where you are no longer the apex predator. Hollywood has been dining out on this fear for decades. Jaws taught an entire generation to be afraid of the water. The Abyss.
I think the last 10 minutes or so is really embarrassing, and that's too bad.
The Abyss showed how claustrophobic the open ocean can feel. Even movies like Sphere or Leviathan play on that same nerve. The idea that once you're down there, you're on someone else's turf. I personally love the ocean. I spent vacations staring at the waves, but I've never actually scuba dived. And playing this, I don't know if I ever will. There is a natural biological alarm that goes off in a human's brain when they realize they can't breathe without a tank, and you can't run because you're encased in liquid. The game comes to us from Veratu Valo Games. It's an indie project, and you can feel that indie heart the second you boot it up. In a world of billion-dollar AAA titles, there's something uniquely terrifying about a small team horror game. They don't have to play by the rules of mass appeal, they can focus on making you uncomfortable. Let's talk about the mechanics. This is a 4-player co-op game, but for this experience, I went in solo. In a co-op, you have a safety net. You have someone to joke with, someone to hear you scream, but solo the game changes. It becomes a study in isolation. The basics of the game is scuba diving, and they nail the sensory deprivation. You don't hear a soundtrack, you hear the bubbles. You hear that hollow metallic whoosh of your breath. It becomes a metronome for your anxiety. When you start to panic, you realize that if your breath is too fast, you lose oxygen. The game literally punishes you for being scared. Now, I have to be honest with you. This is a demo, and it has some of that indie spice. Some of the reviews mention it being rough around the edges, and they aren't wrong. The human models look a bit interesting, to say the least. The camera angles can sometimes feel like they're fighting you, and figuring out the initial steps of the mission isn't exactly intuitive. It doesn't hold your hand exactly. But here's the thing. In horror, jank can actually be a weapon. When a game is too polished, you feel safe. You know the boundaries. But in Thalassophobia, that slightly off nature of the visuals adds to the uncanny valley. When you see a silhouette in the distance that doesn't quite move right, your brain doesn't think, oh, that's a glitch. Your brain thinks, what the hell is that thing? The atmosphere is the undisputed winner here. It's the darkness that gets you. It's the not knowing. I spent 5 minutes just staring into a trench, convinced that something was staring back at me. But but the game doesn't rely on cheap jump scares every 10 seconds. It builds a slow, agonizing pressure, just like the actual ocean. The mission in the demo is a simple one on paper. Retrieve military gear from a sunken submarine wreck. In practice, it's a nightmare. You have to navigate these tight, rusted corridors of a dead vessel. This is where the game shifts from open water fear to claustrophobic terror. You are inside a metal tomb, hundreds of feet down, and every corner you turn is a gamble. There, that's right, there. No music cue, no warning, just sudden, silent appearance of a predator. Sharks in this game don't growl like movie monsters, they just exist. They glide. And when they turn towards you, that's when you realize how helpless you are with just a small scavenging tool and a flashlight that's running out of batteries. I attempted this solo trying to reach that gear. The descent was easy, the discovery of the sub was awe-inspiring, but the narrow escape, that's where the game tests your soul. Trying to find your way back out to the surface while your oxygen is low and things in the dark are closing in, it's one of the most intense demo experiences I've had this year in a game. So, is Thalassophobia worth your time? If you're looking for a polished AAA action game, maybe wait for the full release. But if you want a game that actually respects the actual psychological horror of the deep, if you want to feel that primal edge of your seat tension that only an indie dev can provide, then you need to play this demo. It reminds me that the ocean isn't just a place, it's a different world entirely. Only one where we don't belong. I'm going to keep playing, keep trying to master the solo run, and maybe, just maybe, I'll invite a crew the next time I play, so I don't have to die in the dark alone. Thanks for watching Mr. Bunal's breakdown of this demo Thalassophobia. If you enjoyed this dive into the deep, hit that subscribe button and join the brigade. It only takes you a second and it means the world to me. I'm a growing channel and I appreciate it so very much. We've got plenty more strategy, horror, demos, all kinds of games coming up. If there's anything that you want to see, leave a comment below and let me know and we'll take a look. So, stay safe, stay dry, and I'll see you on the next one.